Good evening. My name is Dan Gallagher. I'm the moderator this evening. I am joined with our host, Susan Oxnevad, with tonight's webinar dealing with app smashing with ThingLink. And tonight's presentation, a little bit about the webinar before we get started. On the GoToWebinar dashboard, all attendees are in listen-only mode. Participants are encouraged to ask questions that I'll be asking directly to the panelists during the webinar, and they'll answer after they're finished their presentation. Also, we have a back channel, which I'll get to in a second, for conversations with the other participants. If you would like to ask a question, go ahead and post your question in the question section on the dashboard or in the chat section. For our back channel, we're using TitanPad. The link is down at the bottom, as well as it was posted in the chat. TitanPad works very well on Safari or Internet Explorer. It's a little buggy sometimes on Chrome. And tonight, I would like to present our host, Susan Oxnevad.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this webinar, App Smashing with ThingLink. I'm Susan Oxnevad, and I'm your host, along with Dan and several ThingLink expert educators who are going to be sharing the great app smashes with us tonight. So here's a little bit about myself. We're going to give you a lot of information, but you can find everything that you need to find. Everything I do is on my blog, and so I'm going to show you my blog here, Cool Tools for 21st Century Learners. I also blog at the ThingLink blog, and the most important thing is that I'm the ThingLink Education Community Manager, and I'm always looking for great, innovative teachers who are interested in sharing, like the teachers that we have tonight. We have a ThingLink Expert Educator program, and if you're interested in that, you can email me. I think my email is in the back channel, and it's also susan@thinglink.com, or you can send me a tweet at Oxnevad. So I do hope to hear from you if you have any questions about the webinar or anything that has to do with ThingLink. So one of the things that I have is a passion for sharing effective ways to leverage the power of technology for teaching and learning. And when I went through all of the expert educators' bios tonight, everybody said the same thing. So I think we're a community of dedicated educators here, and we hope that you'll enjoy this webinar. I'm going to start out by just sharing a little bit about ThingLink in case you're new to ThingLink. Not too much, just a little bit. So ThingLink is an image platform where you can create multimedia images. What you do is you take an image like the one you see here, and you can create it yourself, or you can find an image on the web, and then you upload it to ThingLink, and then you add all of these little things here, which are called tags. It's very easy to do. You just double click and add a tag, and you can put things here. You see a link to Wikipedia. It shows up real nicely. You can put text, you can put multimedia like this video right here, right from YouTube. You can put images, you can put lots of different things. ThingLink integrates really nicely with all kinds of different media. And what we do is you create these little tags, and some of them are called rich media tags. Those are the ones that show up right on the page. But really the great thing about ThingLink is you can create a link to anything. So one image can hold a whole lot of content right there. It's a really great tool for a lot of purposes. One of the purposes is, for teaching and learning, and you can also have student projects that you launch this way. But for tonight, we're going to focus on using ThingLink as a presentation tool as we share our app smashing with you. So talked a little bit about the media tags. And here's an image that I created, and you can see when you click on this one, it pops right out. That's rich media tag. And ThingLink is integrated with more and more rich media tags. And here's just a list of all the things that you can pop into ThingLink, and it'll embed right on the page. The way you do that is you just copy and paste a link. It's not hard, it's not cumbersome, it's actually very easy. Just copy, paste right in there, and boom. So there's a lot of different rich media tags here that are listed, and we like to integrate with more and more companies all the time. So this list changes and it grows all the time. It really makes it nice to create a presentation or a student project or content for a student. The other thing about ThingLink that's great is that you can share it across the web. So you can take a ThingLink that you'll see lots of them tonight, and you can just click on share, and you get all of these ways to share it. You can share through social media. If you're on Facebook, I know a lot of students aren't, but if you're using this for professional development and you're on Facebook, you can even create a little something that makes it pop up right and show up right on Facebook. You can also just copy the link and send it to people, or you can embed it very easily by copying this code, putting it in your blog, your wiki, or your website. So then one interactive image can travel and fly across the web because lots of people can see it and they can also use it. And just another thing about ThingLink, there's many tags that pop up right away, but one of the newest ones, the one that I'm so excited about, is this Google Drive integration. So if you have a Google Doc or a Google presentation like this is today, you can just create a link like this, put an icon on it, and the Google Doc pops right up on the page. So it's right there for students or for your participants, so they don't have to click out and go someplace else. They can see it right here. And this is just a picture, but if it was live, I could actually click and take this. This is a Google form. I could actually take the survey right here without leaving the page. So that's a really great new improvement to ThingLink. And also ThingLink is cross-platform, so we like to make it convenient to use ThingLink on whatever device is handy. So I think that's really helpful today when schools are switching back and forth. Do they have iPads or Chromebooks or laptops or desktop computers? In some schools, students just have phones. But ThingLink works across all these platforms. There is an app for an iPad. There's also an app for Android. Those are great, but you don't even have to use the app. If you're a school that has iPads that are managed and you don't have the ThingLink app yet, it works beautifully just from the web browser on Safari. So what you can do is you can use it at school, go home and finish up on your phone. You can use it. You can use the app without Wi-Fi, and then you can go back in and connect to Wi-Fi and finish working on your image. So it's a really nice, flexible circle of possibilities. And then, I already told you about the app. There is an app, and it's free. It's in the Google Play Store and also in the iTunes Store. The app has some benefits because, like I said, you don't need the Wi-Fi, and the app is getting better and better as well. Now you can use custom icons if you're already a ThingLink user. You might have noticed that you couldn't use custom icons there before, but now you can. So we're really excited about the app and the way it's developing as well. Okay, so that's just a little overview of ThingLink, just to give us all a starting point for tonight's presentation. So now we're going to talk a little bit about app smashing. And ThingLink is a great tool for app smashing for presenting these because it's such a nice presentation tool. And so what I've done and what our presenters have done is we create an image, upload it to ThingLink, and then share ways to smash apps. And app smashing, for those of you who are new to app smashing, it's wonderful, and it combines the best features of 2 or more apps to improve the functionality of those apps. If you use an app alone, sometimes you're going to find it's pretty limited, but app smashing is the way to go because you can just do just about everything, and you're going to see so many great examples tonight. App smashing also, in addition to combining the features of 2 or more apps, the idea is to publish and share content that way. So what one app doesn't do, another app might do. And in my example here of an app smashing, it's very, very simple one. I just created a ThingLink here. So this is my ThingLink image, and I drew a picture of the Explain Everything screen, and I'll share that with you in a minute. And then I use the web browser in Explain Everything to record a guided narrated tour of a ThingLink. So those are things that you can't do with either app on their own. They work really well together. So I'm going to go ahead and click out now onto my ThingLink so you can see it live. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Explain Everything is a really, really popular, amazing app. And the idea is very simple. What you do is the students get a screen on their iPad that looks like this, and they can draw. There's lots of different features. There's lots of different colors. They can draw things. They can import images. They can import video, and it all shows live on the screen, and then the idea here is that they push the button and they record themselves explaining it. And so that's a good way for students to dig deeper into content. And I really love this app. It's very popular. I used it today to teach students math, and they just actually thought math was fun when we did it. And you can really learn a lot about what students are thinking when you do this. So my idea was, there's a web browser and Explain Everything, and it's not as well utilized as some of the other things. So the web browser is right here if you look. Now this is my ThingLink that I created. So this is not actually Explain Everything I'm sharing with you. I'm sharing a ThingLink, but this is where it would be. So when you click here and Explain Everything, this pops up. And here's where you can add a video, or you can add a file or a picture or even a sound. But the feature that I like the most is the new browser. So if you click on the new browser here, you'll get a web browser. And that's all you have to do is copy and paste the web link of the ThingLink that you get by going here. Let's see, by going to the share button. You copy and paste this right into the web browser, and then it pulls up your ThingLink right on the screen like this here. And so now you can see my ThingLink. So my idea is that students can create a ThingLink about content, any content across the curriculum. It could be about science, it could be about current events, it could be about anything. And they could learn a lot as they're building a multimedia image and defining it, through multimedia. And then once they do that, they can record a guided narrated tour so that people don't just have to explore it, but they can listen to someone explaining it. So it's really, really a wonderful way to smash two apps. I'm very excited about the possibilities here. For those of you who would like to try this on your own, this is a video, and it's an embedded video because ThingLink lets me do that. And this explains exactly how to add your interactive image, your ThingLink interactive image, into Explain Everything and do the recording. So this in itself is a good example of app smashing with ThingLink, and this is one where I actually used ThingLink to app smash. Jamie is a K-12 instructional technology specialist, and she's a coach and a computer teacher in the Bellwood Antis School District in central Pennsylvania. And here she is, dedicated to innovative teaching and learning through the use of technology and digital media. And she likes to engage students in the learning. And she has a great blog, which I hope you'll write down right now. It's EduTech for Teachers, and lots of great ideas on Jamie's blog. And I hope you'll follow her here.
This app smash that I made earlier in the school year was when I was working with 6th grade teachers who teach social studies in the content area, or in the content area of social studies, and they were looking for some sort of a culminating activity that they could do with their students that would involve technology, that would highlight some information that they learned throughout the unit on the ancient civilizations that they teach. Primarily, they work on Egypt, Rome, Greece, and China. So I thought, what a better time to get these teachers and these students involved in a little bit of app smashing, because we're not a one-to-one school, but we do have a set of iPads that we can use in stations or share with students. And so I came up with this idea that the students could take an element of culture, because throughout each one of these civilizations, the teachers discussed elements of culture, and that was the theme that sort of ran through the unit. So we decided that what we would have the students do is to pick one of those elements of culture and apply that to each one of the 4 civilizations that they studied. So together, we came up with the whole concept. Well, I sort of promoted the whole app smashing, and I was also looking for a way to kind of wiggle that whole ThingLink concept into the classroom, because as Susan said, there are just so many possibilities of ways that teachers can either use ThingLink to teach content, or students can use ThingLink to demonstrate knowledge in a certain content area. So this particular app smash, we began with using the PhotoMappo app. And so what the students did is, and that's what you see in the background, so I have 4 images, kind of one in each corner, and each one of those images were created using the PhotoMappo app. And so basically what they did here is they took, well, in this example, this is the example that I created, and I chose the element of culture that was architecture or history. And so what essentially we did was we had each student create a postcard pertaining to each one of the civilizations, highlighting one of the elements that they could choose. So like government or people or food or clothing or whatever the case might be. And so like I said, I chose architecture. So we found a picture for each one of those civilizations architecture. And we made this app is really cool because you can put the picture into the app and it creates an image that shows where in the world that this is located. So if you pull a photo even from online and it's tagged, then that automatically comes up, or the app allows you to put in a location, and then you have a choice of about 13 different kinds of maps that you can create. So you can do it from any kind of a level, like the continent level or the country level, or if you're working in the U.S., like states all the way down to cities. I mean, it really, you can kind of zoom in and zoom out and get as much information as you really want on each one of the maps. So I thought that that was worth mentioning, and that was really cool. And then the other thing that you could do is there are several backgrounds that you could choose from. So I tried to use 4 different backgrounds just to show students that there were options and they didn't have to make everything that was exactly the same. I guess my dog doesn't like my presentation. So anyway, after we saved those 4 images to the camera roll, then we had students use Pic Collage. And actually in my school, we use Pic Collage for a lot of different kinds of activities. Kids, if you've never used that app with students, they love it. And you can think of a zillion kinds of ways that you could apply that to all content areas. So anyway, we pulled in those 4 images that we created for each one of the civilizations, and we had the students make a collage using Pic Collage. And so we called it a mashup, so that they had to mash up their content that they created from PhotoMapo. So once they created that and they gave their collage a title, then we downloaded that to the camera roll again. And then our final step in the TLAppSmash was to pull the image from Pic Collage into ThingLink, and then their job was to create hotspots within each one of the monuments containing links to resources that could be used to explore additional information about that civilization and that particular element of culture. And so then that was pretty much our TLAppSmash, and so we shared these, and students then did some exploring, and we had them complete a Google Doc on what they learned about each one of the ThingLink projects that the students created. So it turned out to be really neat. And we thought, once the teachers and I debriefed, we thought that this really encouraged the meaningful use of technology to meet like a specific learning objective. And so I think it was sort of something that was real valuable for students, and it was also a real valuable project and activity for teachers to see the value of putting all kinds of apps together. And once again, like I try to promote ThingLink all the time in my school because I think it's one of the best tools out there to do a lot of teaching and learning with. So we found that this was a pretty challenging yet fun and engaging way to get students involved in showing what they really knew from the unit.
Great. Well, thank you, Jamie. Dan, if you want to just breeze through and see if there are any questions, that'd be great. And I have a question for you, Jamie. Okay. So the background, the map background, I know you said it, but I'm not sure I caught where you got the map backgrounds from.
The map backgrounds actually come from the PhotoMapo app. So
okay.
When you open the app, you have a choice of, first of all, importing your image, and then once the image is imported, if it's geotagged, then the app will automatically recognize that and will pull. And like, for example, I used some vacation photos from Mexico when I was experimenting with the app, and when I pulled in the app from my iPad, or I'm sorry, the photo into the app from my iPad, it recognized right away that it was from Cozumel, Mexico. So
right.
once it recognized that, if you don't have the geotag on it, then you can just type in the location, and then it pulls up the coordinates, and then you have a choice of, like I said, about I think it's 13 to 16 different kind of backgrounds, and then you can go into the settings and kind of dig down into like what level that you would like someone to see. So it could be like a broad level, or it could be something like very specific if you wanted them to see like a mountain range or something like that, or a highway or a specific city. So you
Great.
really have the ability to kind of zoom in and zoom out and choose what kind of a map you want.
That's
And then
amazing.
yeah, and you can also choose like a physical map. You know, if you want a physical map, or if you want like a road map or something like that, there are different options within the settings.
That's really stunning, and I think that when students have to go to all this trouble, find the map, find the image, they must just learn so much about what they're studying, just really digging deeper into the content.
And the other thing too that we really liked about the Photo Mappo app was that the little kind of note tags that you see, like sticky notes on each one of the maps, it only will allow you to have a certain amount of characters. So like Twitter, you can only have 140 characters, and I can't recall the exact number of characters, but it caused the students to have to really summarize whatever it was that they wanted to say about the monument, because they could only put X amount of information in there. So we like that too, to teach them, to pick out what was the most important and then write about that information.
Great. Okay, I'm going to pop Jamie's information back up here, because I know some of you might want to write down her contact information. And then, Dan, if you want to look through the questions while we show the audience that'd be
Jamie,
great.
just to recap, the two apps that you used, one was Photo Mappo.
Yes, the first one is Photo Mappo. Yes.
And the other one was Pic Collage.
Pic Collage, right? And then last one was ThingLink.
Perfect.
Actually, if I have a blog post on my blog that talks about this and the steps that we use. So if if anybody in the audience needs more information, if you go to my blog and you just do a search for app smashing, it will come up, this particular post.
Perfect. That answered all the questions. One other thing, Jamie, on your dashboard, do you see a green button that has a microphone, and then there's also a green button that has a camera?
Yes.
If you turn off the camera, that should stop showing your webcam. Perfect.
Great. So since I still have the screen, thank you, Jamie. That's absolutely wonderful. And I do hope you'll go to Jamie's blog, EduTech for Teachers. If I should also mention that in the back channel, I've given you the link to this slideshow presentation, and all of these links are live. So you can get to all of our presenters' actual thing links just by opening up the presentation and clicking on the image here. So thank you, Jamie. So next up, we have Laura Moore. And Laura Moore has made this wonderful creative writing with Book Creator and Scene Creator apps. Laura is an instructional technology specialist for Northeast Independent School District in San Antonio, Texas. And she has a passion for finding new and innovative ways for learning to create and collaborate. And I do encourage you to check out Laura's blog at Learn More Stuff. I regularly visit that blog as well. Laura is an expert educator, and we're so excited to have her here with us sharing her creative writing with Book Creator. So Laura, as soon as you get the signal to take over the screen, you're on.
Okay, Laura, we can see your screen. I don't think we're hearing you right now. Try that now.
There we go. Now can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Okay. Well, again, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. In my app Smash, I decided to provide a few examples of how students can create their own visual writing prompt using various scene creator apps, and then publish their personal narrative using Book Creator. Book Creator is currently $4.99 in the App Store, but they do have a free version where you can make one book, and I think it's unlimited pages. I could be wrong. I do work with the paid version, but I know you can have a lot of pages in that one book that comes with the free version. So the first three little hotspots I have here are just links that show you the workflow for how this project works. So the students choose a particular SceneMaker app to create a visual story starter, And then they just take a screenshot of their image and it's saved to the camera roll. So the second step would be to then open up Book Creator and then upload their screenshot from the camera roll. And with Book Creator, they're going to add text, audio, and whatever else they wanted to add to tell their own creative story. So the teacher then has a choice of, if they have the paid version, they can publish those individual books, or they can kind of collect all those books and create one collaborative class book. So down here in the middle of the image, you see links to 6 different scene creator apps that I have used in the past. Most of them are free, some of them are paid, and I will go into a little bit of detail later about specifically how they work. So down here, you have some information regarding Book Creator, and so if you're not familiar with it, I've included a little video tutorial, and it takes you to a YouTube video that kind of shows you how it works. And then with Book Creator, you have the option of exporting your book 3 different ways. You can export it as an EPUB, you can export it as a movie and then publish it to YouTube, and then you can also save it as a PDF. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of show you the example of the EPUB, and I'll just kind of walk you through of what a student example could look like. Now, I do have to apologize. I did create this particular example during Thanksgiving, and so I don't have authentic student compositions to share with you, but I think you kind of get the idea of what it would look like. So this first part, the first paragraph down here kind of explains a little bit in detail how the TLAppSmash would work, and I've also included a video just from the Book Creator site, and if you've never used Book Creator before, it kind of walks you through of what it looks like, and because of course it's an EPUB book, these videos will play. Over here I've just included, I've literally just copied and pasted the description from the App Store to give you a little bit more information about the app. So if I go to the next page, the first scene maker app that I want to share with you is called the Ultimate Scene Maker, and it does cost 99 cents in the App Store. I actually got this one. It was one of those free apps of the day deals, and I happened to download it, so you know, look for those deals as often as you can. You can see a screenshot of an example of an image that could represent a particular moment within a story. And then over here you see the text where the kids can type in their story. Now this scene maker has a variety of backgrounds and stickers that students can use to create their artwork. And within Book Creator, you also have the ability to record audio, so you can have students reading their own original compositions, which I think is a really cute idea. On the next page, the next app is called Felt's Light. This is the free version, but there is also a paid version that costs about 99 cents, and so you get a little bit more functionality. You have more backgrounds and more characters to choose from. And then, of course, here's a description of all that it offers from the App Store. CreativePad is currently free, and it provides students with backgrounds, themes, stickers, characters, and text. This is really the only one, the Scene Creator app, that does allow you to add little text bubbles. So if the kids wanted to include a particular moment within their story where there's important dialogue, they can also add that in there as well. And there's also music that plays in the background on this one too, so that's kind of fun. I think most people are the most familiar with Toontastic. There's a lot of different varieties of Toontastic. There's Toontastic Junior with pirates. There's the Shrek version. I will have to say that this series of apps takes up a lot of space on your iPad. I think it's around like 250 megabytes, so you might not want to download all of them because it kind of eats up your space, especially if you just have a 16 gig iPad. These apps, though, provide more of a structured framework when students are creating like a beginning, middle, and end type of story. So I really, really like this one a lot. Epic Citadel happens to be my most favorite app. I love, love, love this one. And it's not necessarily a scene maker app, but it provides a ton of visual inspiration for storytelling. It's a virtual world that looks much like a video game. You can navigate your way through the environment, and the kids can take screenshots of interesting places that they see. And another feature that I like about Book Creator is that you can hyperlink images to different pages within the book. So this is a great app to use if kids wanted to create like one of those choose your own adventure type stories. And this page actually has a video, and it's going to play some really loud music in a minute. I'm going to see if I can fast forward. And so the kids have little kind of virtual control knobs at the bottom of the page, and you can zoom in, and you literally can go like inside buildings, you can go down streets, inside these castles, and it's just wonderful fantasy world. So when the kids find an interesting place, they just take a screenshot and they can just pop it in one of these pages, and they can write their story around it. So this is one of my favorite apps. On the next page, this is called Create a Scene, and it is by Icy Spark, and it's $1.99 in the App Store. The free version lets you create one scene, so this is another example of an app that provides backgrounds and themes and characters. So that is kind of what a collaborative book would look like, made with Book Creator. I like the idea of students coming up with their own visual writing prompt. I think it makes it kind of less formulaic in nature, and the kids really enjoy creating the artwork. I've also included down here a link to Megan's blog post about how to combine individual books into one big collaborative book. So I use her blog a lot, and that's a wonderful resource. You're going to meet Megan in just a few minutes. And then I also have been teaching this particular class in my district, and it's been very successful. It's called App Smashes and Flows. It's a choose your own eye adventure, and it talks about the differences between app smashes versus app flows. So it's just an additional resource if you're looking for more information about app smashing. And that's my example. So thank you so much for letting me share.
Thank you so much, Laura. I'm going to switch the screen back to me so people can get your contact information. And Dan, maybe you can see if there are any questions for Laura.
Of the 6 scene-making apps that you showed today, Laura, which one would you say is your favorite?
Well, it depends on your grade level. I would say for the little ones, maybe K1 and 2, Toontastic Junior would be good because it does it forces the kids to think about the beginning and the middle and the end of the story. For maybe second and third, the last one I showed you, the Create a Scene, is a nice one. And definitely for older kids and especially high school, Epic Citadel is fantastic.
Excellent. Thank you.
Great. So many resources, Laura. And I did send out the link, everybody, so you can get to her creative writing ThingLink. So you can grab some of those resources. Some were resources I'd never heard of before. So thank you so much. Amazing things with Book Creator. I'm going to go ahead and move on to our next panelist. And just so you know, like I said, that link was just sent out. But our next panelist is Lori Campbell. And this is actually the first, all of these app smashes were entered into something called the ThingLink App Smash Challenge. And this is the first one we got. And right out of the box, I knew it was wonderful. Lori Campbell has been an educator for 7 years and an instructional technology coach for 1 year. She's always interested in new and exciting ways to engage students and faculty. She's made something really creative today called the Smash Pub, and I love the bottom. Your mixologist today will be Lori Campbell. So without anything more, we're going to pass the screen to you, Lori, and then you can go ahead and share your image. Let us know when you see that.
We can see your page, Lori.
Can everyone see me?
Yes.
Awesome. Good evening, everybody. Basically, the Smash Pub came about because the team that I work for, it's a team of instructional technology coaches at Northern Virginia Community College. And we do this all the time without thinking about it. So we kind of wanted to take it and show it to the students and to the faculty and say, hey, these are really cool ways that you can create unique creations just with these really simple apps. So we've named it the Smash Pub, and these are just some of the ones that I put together. I used Telegami and iMovie to create basically an instructional video on how to use our new Extron setups. If you've ever used Telegami before, you know you can change the backgrounds. All you have to do is take a picture of a green screen behind it, and then you can get rid of the green screen and put your iMovie behind it and have it play. So it's actually really simple to do and turns out really cool. And then our traveling artist is a combination of GarageBand, iMovie, and Aurasma. GarageBand is the one that gave me the most fits because I was trying to get the music off of Creative Commons and then save it into my iTunes, but it did work. Don't get frustrated if it takes you a minute. And then I created the book commercial with iMovie, and then I used Aurasma, the augmented reality app, to actually put it all together so that when you play it, you scroll over book cover, it plays the commercial, and the students thought it was the most awesome thing ever. We had a lot of them coming to our office later trying to figure out how to do it. The contestant is really one for teachers. We used Telegami and Kahoot. Kahoot is a really cool in-class polling, quizzing game. It's really loud, it's kind of disruptive, and I absolutely love it. And in there you can actually embed YouTube videos. So we created Telegami YouTube videos and then embedded them into the Kahoot so they would play and ask the question that the students were going to try and answer. And then we have our big gulp over here, which is Vscope, iMovie, and YouTube. iMovie actually created the movie that's playing in the background. Vscope is a green screen app that actually allows you to see what's playing behind you while you're recording in front of it, which is really good. I used the free version, which gives you the little Vscope thing, but you can pay, I think it's $2.99, and you don't have the watermark on it. And then YouTube to publish. And so we had a lot of fun with this, and ThingLink was the perfect way to display this. We put it on an iPad, we took it out to the lobby area with us, and then we could just pull it up and click, 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 and everyone could see it right off the bat without any issues. So I try and pitch ThingLink to every teacher that comes in, and we're definitely trying to get a foothold in our school to use these different app smashes as well.
Great, thank you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch the screen back to mine so everybody can get your contact information, and I did send the link out. So, Dan, maybe you can see if there are any questions for Lori?
Certainly, there's two questions, Lori. First, the Telegami app you used to be able to have the green screen feature. Do you have the paid version?
I do have the paid version. However, if you use Do Ink, which I think is $2.99, it's a real easy green screen app for iPads or iPhones, and you can do the green screen in there as well.
Great. And the second question that came in, that app called Vscope, where you're able to have the green screen video playing behind you, you're able to see it on the iPad. Was that a free or a paid app?
The free app comes with the watermark at the bottom of it, but you can get the paid version that'll remove the watermark. And with the paid version, you do get a few more options, but I've just been using the free version because it hasn't bothered me that much to have a watermark on it.
Perfect. That answered the questions that came in.
Great, thank you. Well, Lori, thanks for sharing that. I just like the way it's designed for so many different levels of learners too, because everybody's starting at a different place, and I think you can pick, you can do so many things just on your one app smash. There's something there for everyone. So absolutely wonderful. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
I'm going to move on to Megan. And Megan Zigman is going to share with you a digital and analog AppSmash. Megan's a first grade teacher and a tech facilitator from Port Aransas, Texas. Megan, you'll have to help me with that. She's been a teacher for 9 years. She's, again, passionate about inspiring creation and collaboration in the classroom and believes in harnessing the power of technology to make students thinking visible. And that's one thing that I was saying earlier with ThingLink. That's what it can do. It can make thinking visible. I do read Megan's blog as well, zigzagstech.com. And so with no further ado, I'm going to pass the screen over to Megan and let us know when you're ready to share, Megan.
Thanks, Susan. Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Sorry. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, I guess I got a frog in my throat there. That didn't work too well.
Mm-hmm.
It is Port Aransas. Thank you so much for your sweet introduction. I'm so excited to be with you guys here tonight. I am, as Susan said, I'm really passionate about app smashing and sharing some of these different fun things that we get to do. I teach first grade in a 2-to-1 classroom, so we're not 1-to-1, but we have about one iPad to every 2 students, and that's basically, we're blessed enough to have that throughout our whole school. So, but this AppSmash came about. I think that taking pictures throughout the day, I'm sure everyone does, is just a whole lot of fun, and so we went ahead and we take pictures of all kinds of things, and this project just sort of started from when we were thinking about comprehension, thinking through mental images. So we were reading a really great book called Night Song, and this first, does it want to go over my, there we go. Okay, there's my bubble. So we were reading a really great book, and my students were drawing on their whiteboards, and we just got really excited and decided we needed to take a picture of each one of their whiteboards, because that was their mental image. And then I had discovered something called Audio Boom, which, if you haven't discovered Audio Boom, it's absolutely fabulous. It's one of those rich media tags for ThingLink, so that you'll if you create an audio boom, you're going to be able to embed it on a ThingLink, and it just pops right up. So I'll show you an example of that in a minute, but here's a quick example of what we did with my students. As it comes up, that's just one picture. I thought it was the whole thing. But so we were reading a book called Night Song about bats. They drew their pictures, and then we put them all together. I'm pretty sure this is a picture. That's a story retell, sorry. Apparently I don't know my own ThingLink very well. But so we took pictures of their work, and then we put them all together in a pic collage. Here, that's what I was looking for. Nope, it's still not it, but that works. So that's a picture of an anchor chart, and then some mental images that we drew. And so the basic gist is that you're combining your analog work, maybe it's their paper, maybe it's something they drew, maybe it's something actual physical, like a plant growing in your classroom, something like that, and then you're able to put it together. Here's the one I really wanted to show you. There we go. So this is what we put together with all of our students, all their little mental images, all in one different thing, which I think is really powerful, just to show them that their pictures matter, what they're thinking matters. Then we did this all on our iPad, but the app Audio Boom is a website and an app, which I'm a huge fan of Audio Boom. You do need to create an account, and depending on how old your students are, they can have their own or a class account. I find it really effective to have a class account, because, and I haven't had it any other way, but the class account allows us all to record our thinking all in one account, and then we're able, it's all there when we go to audioboom.com. So you kind of take their pictures, combine them all together, make it into some sort of presentation. You could also use Canva. I'm a big fan of Canva. That's what this ThingLink is made with. But to go ahead and put your pictures together and then add a layer of awesome with their actual voice, to make their thinking truly visible. So they did their drawing, and then they each had an opportunity to record their thinking using Audio Boom. And what's so wonderful about that is that you just press record. They get to see their little voice audio going up and down. And I love Audio Boom, especially because you can go back and kind of erase or edit what they've done if there's like somebody, you know, who hurt their knee in the corner or whatever, or if they feel like they messed up. It's really easy to go back and fix that. And there's a couple of, it is a rich media tech, it is a rich media nubbin or whatever for your ThingLink, so you can just add those straight in. And the way you do that, I think there's a post, no, that's the web version. But if you go to my blog and you search Audio Boom or ThingLink, all of this will come up. But when you, after your Audio Boom has been uploaded, you can just go to the web version, and you can do this right on your iPad too. So you'll go ahead and click the link to the specific Audio Boom that they recorded. Right now we're working on a Christmas tree inquiry unit, and so they've been recording all kinds of fun. We're actually making another ThingLink with it right now. But just, you'll go up here and you'll copy, whoops, not paste. But anyway, you'll copy the link to that Audio Boom, and then as you're editing your ThingLink here in the final step, I'll just take you real quick to this one. That's an example of what they did. But in your final step, you'll go ahead and add all of those rich media plugins, little widgets, nubbins, whatever you want to call them, to your ThingLink. So here you can see that each one of these students got to use their voice and actually add their thinking to their picture. So, which I think just makes it even more powerful, gives them ownership, and then you have this really awesome ThingLink that you can share on your class blog with your parents, where however you'd like to go ahead and do that. And I think that this sort of app smashing recipe is so powerful because you can use this kind of combination for so many different things. I gave you down here these three little extra nubbins are kind of some different ways to use in math. You could add a word cloud to your ThingLink. Maybe you're doing some sort of comprehension lesson, and you want to go ahead and use their pictures, and then add some powerful words to your pic collage from that word cloud. So all of these things that you can do on your iPad just really easily. It doesn't take it's not real complicated. And it's a whole lot of fun. So there's a few extra little things down here if you're looking for some extra tips. And if you go to my blog, you can search. There's a post on this, and then other posts about ThingLink and Audio Boom together, because I love them so much. So.
Great, that was wonderful. Okay, I'm going to take the screen back if you want to look for some questions for Megan, Dan. And I just want to comment right now on something that you said that just reaches everything I believe in. You said to add another layer of awesome by adding their voices, and that's so perfect, especially when you're working with little kids. But
yes.
It's a good way to get into kids' heads and think and figure out what they're thinking about too. So it's wonderful.
A lot of times it's almost easier for them to just say it rather than write it too. I'm not discounting their writing, but sometimes just that verbal is really powerful.
Absolutely, and I love the way you still include the hand drawings. Everything doesn't have to be on the iPad. A good use of technology is to mix it up a little bit like you did there. So that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Megan.
Thanks.
Actually,
How
that
are
was a
you
great
guys?
segue into Megan's question. We had a question come in. Do you think Explain Everything, doing an audio recording with that, would work the same as using Audio Boom?
Yeah, absolutely. That you could definitely do the same thing, just kind of skip that whole audio boom step, put your picture or whatever it is that you had. Yeah, Explain Everything would be a great tool to do that.
Perfect.
Great, and that just brings up the point that there are so many great ideas here, because all of this great technology integration has to do with, it starts with a great idea. And there are many tools that you can use, and so if you don't have the exact same apps on your iPad as Megan does, or you don't have the paid version of the apps, you can still do it. So it's just amazing. Okay, so Dan, you're up next.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and flip on your screen, and why don't you go ahead and take back the control,
hmm
and then I'll go ahead and introduce you. So Dan is a ThingLink expert educator. He's also our webinar moderator, and he's a teacher resource specialist in the West Windsor Plainsboro Regional School District in New Jersey, where he lives nearby with his wife, Kristen. He helps teachers assist them with technology and tech integration. He's also an adjunct professor with Arcadia's University, and he also got his master's degree from Arcadia University, and he got his bachelor's degree from Lebanon Valley College. And we really appreciate all the great work that Dan does, especially helping us pull off these webinars every month. So Dan, when you're ready.
Great. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. So, like Susan said, I go in and I help teachers incorporate technology. And I had a third grade teacher come to me and said, we've got this heritage unit that we do each year with part of their social studies curriculum. And they wanted to be able to take it to the next level. And so we have 4 iPads in each of our classes. The teachers can share the iPads with each other so we can have a class set. And I was able to work with them to put together a heritage project. We started out our background image. We used an app called Logo Maker, and the students had to design a logo that represented themselves that would be used for the background of their ThingLink. And then based upon what they did for the unit, they had interview questionnaires that they had with their parents to find out information. We created different spots on their logo. So first thing they had to do was create the logo. Then we used ScreenChomp to be able to have the students do a little screencasting video describing why they built their logo the way they did, what aspects connected to them, what colors. They had to kind of go into a description on why that logo represented themselves. And then we used a variety of other apps. Some of them were paid, some of them were free. I tried to stick with the free, but the third grade grade level I was working with, they were able to get a grant from the PTA for some iTunes gift cards so they could purchase some apps to be used here. So another aspect was we used a free app called Voice Recorder Pro 7 to be able to do an audio recording that also has that audio recording linked to an image. So the students had to do an image, they had to do a self-portrait. My avatar was my digital self-portrait. And then the recording they did was their name story. So they had to talk about the history of their name, why their parents chose the name that they did for them, and just a little history about the origin of their name. That was able to be saved to the iPad, which we were able to add in to our ThingLink app as if it was another video. The students then used the Maps app that comes with the iPad to do a screenshot of one of the countries that are native to their family. We also did a quick search with Safari to find an image of the flag of that country. And then using an app called Layer Pick, we were able to superimpose the flag on top of the country. We then also used Telegami. We used the EDU version, and we did the green screen background. I was able to do some finagling on my computer using PowerPoint to create a little video depending on the student's immigration story. And the video background we used either had a plane or a boat or a car, however that family emigrated from their native country to the United States. So that played in the background as their little telegami person kind of narrated the story of how one of their family members came to the United States. The students also had to design their own family crest, which we included as an image, and then it was also used in pic collage with a couple other images for their custom or tradition recording. We used Voice Recorder Pro 7 again, and the students had to talk about a family custom or tradition that they celebrate each year. And then we were able to put that together and include that. On my example one, I also included another ThingLink that showed all the different apps that we used for the Heritage Project. And then I've also have a premium ThingLink account. So I was able to use ThingLink Video. And after seeing the couple examples of how to use Explain Everything and have a web browser, I was able to do an Explain Everything of my ThingLink project and turn that into a video with some extra spots in there for other information. So that's kind of the basics of my Heritage Project example. I created this one first to then share with the other third grade teachers so that they could at least see an example of what a finished product would look like. And we're actually in the stages right now. This week, I'm going into classes and helping the students assemble their ThingLinks.
Great. Wonderful. Okay, thank you.
Certainly.
Dan, let's see. Right, and so I see a question about explain everything, which I think was already answered. So I'm going to go ahead and switch the screen back. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
No problem.
Let me get that screen. I'll pull up Dan's information again. Dan, you can just relax for a minute. Okay, are you guys seeing my screen
I'm
again?
seeing your screen.
Great. Okay, Dan. Well, I think that was absolutely wonderful, especially your use of Explain Everything in ThingLink Video. I hadn't even thought about it. So did you actually have the kids, make the video in Explain Everything, and then did they share it to YouTube from there?
I used that myself. What I did was when I was able to share this out with the third grade teachers, some of the teachers I could meet with, a couple of the teachers had another commitment they had to go to, another committee meeting to go to. So by putting that on there, they were able to at least see the video explaining the Heritage Project altogether. So I just added that in for myself. That wasn't an aspect the students were going to do. But I'm now starting to think that would be a great way to have the students then share out their creation.
Absolutely, because they have the ability to make the video right there in the palm of their hands, and then, I mean, it's never going to be perfect, but then students could annotate it with their own ideas and elaborate on it. I think so. That's such a great use. I hadn't even thought about that. Well, thank you to all the wonderful presenters. Dan's information is back here again on the screen if you want to take down his Twitter, his name. And I just want to share a final thought before, and then we have an AppSmash channel. But I really think that I hope that everyone in the audience noticed that all of the app smashing is really a great way just to combine all the different multimedia that you can use and all the different possibilities. And it's just a way to think outside of the box, and it allows teachers to do really whatever they want to do. There's so many amazing ideas. And so that'll bring me to this next slide, which is just to share with the audience the entire AppSmash channel. We had 14 app smashes that came in November. November's a very busy month. A lot of teachers are doing their report cards, but they still turned in these app smashes. So we do have an AppSmash channel. And here is the bit.ly here if you want to copy that down. You can see 14 of these along with the ones that you saw today just to get some really great ideas. So I hope you'll check that out. And if anybody still has an AppSmash, if you're in the audience and you want to make one, you can always submit it to, there is a link right here this is a Google form, and you can just click on this if you go to this TLAppSmash, and you can go ahead and submit it, and I'll just keep the channel growing because I think this is an amazing resource for all teachers. Now, I wanted to, first of all, thank everybody in the audience. We talked a little bit, well, we talked a lot tonight about free apps and paid apps and what have you, and so I wanted to thank you. ThingLink is free, but there's also a premium account for teachers, which is pretty reasonable, and I have a 20% off discount code. So if you wanted to use it just as a thank you, you could use the code Susan TLEDU, and you could get ThingLink for a whole year for just $28, and that includes all of your students. So if a teacher gets a ThingLink, if a teacher gets a premium account, all the students have access to all the features. It's not like every student needs an account. You just need one. You can have as many students as you want. And I just wanted to go through some of the features of ThingLink Premium just so you know the difference between the two in case you're interested. I'm going to kind of whip through some of these. The difference between ThingLink and ThingLink Premium is that the Premium has the enhanced icon selection. We talked about these a little bit. We showed you lots of these. I think Megan referred to them as nubbins. They used to be called nubbins a long time ago, so that tells me, Megan, you're been using it for a long time, but now we just call them icons. And there are all these really great icons which really enhance your image. But the other thing is you can make your own custom icons. So this is actually a ThingLink that I created, and these are all custom icons that I made. And I use it to differentiate because students, have a variety of different learning styles. And so here a student can look at this image and they can right away dig into the thing that reaches them the most. Maybe it's video, maybe it's audio. And I did use Audio Boom, I have to tell you, for these audio clips that are on this. You've got Neil Armstrong talking about going to the moon. And, maybe they like to play an interactive game. Or if we want them to read something about the topic, we could give 3 different levels here with these custom icons that I created. Here are some of the custom icons I created. So that's an option too with the ThingLink Premium account. I think one of the best things about ThingLink Premium though is that you can replace an image. So here's an image. This is one of the first images I ever made, and it's pretty rich. Each of these is a different link to something, to a resource, and this was about tools for flexible learning paths. And you can find that on my blog if you're interested in it. There's really a lot of information there. And there are tons of links here. I think there are maybe 35 links here. And as I made it in 2012, and of course my original image had some tools that didn't quite make it. And so those tools don't exist anymore. And without the replace image feature, I'd have to totally recreate this. And I've done that. Before I got the replace image. But now I can just make a new image. Let's say Google went down, because we know that's not going to happen. I could just change my image and actually erase this Google and put a new tool here and then upload it to ThingLink, and all those icons that I've already tagged stay there. And the only thing I have to do is replace the one icon. So that's really a time saver. I find I use that all the time. Also, the premium account lets you change your heading and your titles, so you can use bold or italics or just put a heading on it. It makes for sort of a nice tag, I think. And you can also take the branding off. In the free ThingLink, you have this little discrete ThingLink tag at the bottom, but you could put your own branding on, and here you can see a school's done that. And I think this is nice. I'd like to have kids make avatars. I heard a couple expert educators mention their avatars, and if a student makes an avatar, then they can stamp the bottom with their picture, and so they're protecting their identity. It teaches them to be internet safe, but it's also a way for them to personalize their own work, so I really like that as well. You can also remove the branding. There's one icon that is blank, so you can just have nothing in the corner there, and sometimes the images that we use need that space, so that's another. Then you can manage the image display. And you'll notice that the ThingLinks all have these things over here, the share button and the touch button, but you can get rid of the share and touch button and show your image a little more if there's something over here that you need to see. So that's pretty nice. Let's see. You can combine photos, hyperlinks, and text all in one tag like you see here. So it just makes you, instead of having to do 2 separate links, you can do one pretty comprehensive link. and you can make bigger photos that way. You can also hide the bubbles. You notice when everybody was sharing, a bubble pops up, and maybe it has a picture, maybe it has a video, maybe it has text, but in some cases you might want to hide those, especially if you have a lot of different links. I like to use this feature when I'm sharing a comprehensive resource that, something that I use all the time, but I only have an hour, and so I'm only going to highlight certain features. So I hide the bubbles of the features that I'm not going to highlight, and then I make the features that I am going to highlight pop up and embed. And so that's just a way to draw the attention. There's a dashboard if you're interested in seeing how many people are looking at your image and how many people are hovering over the tags. And there is a slideshow. Now we call those channels. It's actually an image carousel. And you can create channels even with the free link account. So go ahead and try that if you have a free ThingLink account. But with the paid version, you can then embed your channel. And I had mentioned that we had a channel of an app smashing channel that's embedded on my blog. You can only do that with the paid version. This is just another way to look at it, these different channels that we have. Makes a nice slideshow because all of the images in a channel are interactive, so you don't have to click out like I'm doing here right now. And the best thing is ThingLink for Video. I saved it for last. ThingLink for Video is only available with the premium, and what it allows you to do is you can copy the link from YouTube or Bright Cove, and we have some more resources that we're trying to integrate with. You can take the link and copy it into a video. You make a tag just like you do on ThingLink. You double click and then you get an editor, and you, just like Dan showed you, you get this tag, and the tag can contain just an idea. It can just flash across the screen, or it can contain a link to more information. Maybe the video that you're showing, you need to annotate it and provide some more information for students. You can put a ThingLink in there. You can put all kinds of things in there. So it's a way to take a video and really make it wonderful. And like Dan said, he used it for teachers who were unable to attend his session. Excuse me. And I think it's perfect for the flipped classroom because students can watch a video and they can see your directions and your instructions right there. One of the things I like to do with a flipped classroom model is at the end I like to embed a Google form as an exit ticket to get feedback from the students about the video and to hold them accountable. So ThingLink for Video is absolutely wonderful, just as easy to use as ThingLink. So again, I'm going to pop this on the screen, and I'm going to see if there are any final questions for about ThingLink for me, or if I'm not sure if our presenters are still here, but if anybody has any final questions, we can finish up that way. And if not, I'm just
Yes, Susan, there were 2 questions that came in. One you just answered. They wanted to know the discount code again.
Okay.
They also wanted to know your blog.
Okay. So my blog is Cool Tools for 21st Century Learners, and I'll put that in the chat, and you can just Google it, 21st Century Learners. And I'm going to send that to everybody. And also, if you're in the back channel, I put a link to it in the back channel, I think. If not, I'll go back and do that. You should be able to find it. You can also just email me. That's the easiest thing because I'm Susan@thinglink.com. So. And is that it for the questions then, Dan?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, this has been really wonderful sharing of ideas, and I thank all of our panelists, and I thank you, Dan, very much, and I thank the participants for spending your evening with us, and I hope you learned something and you got inspired with these expert educators. So thank you and good night.